Hey guys, welcome back. If you click the video, you already know what you'll be watching, but I will be making a Lord of the Rings themed dessert sculpture. It's a mouthful. But this is the second Lord of the Rings project I'll be doing. The original one I made was a Balrog, and I believe he might have been my first Rice Krispie sculpture, but he was definitely the first time I made modeling chocolate. And that was just like a really pivotal moment for me because that was when I was like free from the shackles of fondant, because boy do I hate fondant. I still have some like sitting in my cupboard that I don't want to use. But anyways, today we are going to be making the Mouth of Sauron. And he's actually a character that's from like the extended edition, like the deleted scene. And it's almost a shame that he wasn't in the original movies, but you know, like, you gotta do like an extended edition marathon binge at least like once every 3 years. I'm totally overdue. Anyways, he's not going to be made out of actual cake. He's made out of Rice Krispie treat and dessert sculpture, hence dessert sculpture and not cake sculpture. But I hope you guys still enjoy watching it. If you like content like this and you want to see me make more types of weird, creepy, nerdy, goofy cakes, please make sure to like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell. And here we go. The first step is to create a sketch. This kind of always helps me familiarize myself with the project that I'll be creating, essential shapes I need to know. It's really quick, down and dirty, but I feel like it's a good starting point. So the sketch is now done. The next step is to make all of the materials I'll need and also build the base for the structure. You'll see me go back and forth if you like view all of my videos on my channel between using cake sponge and using Rice Krispie treat for the insides of my projects. For this one, I didn't want to do cake sponge because I knew it was going to be a very like tight structured project, and usually I like to use something that's a little bit more firm and easier to sculpt on top of. Cake, as you know, is very soft and doesn't lend itself as well to a lot of the projects that I choose. That is a little unfortunate, and I'm sure a lot of bakers will say that this is cheating, but that's okay. I'm just doing this at home for fun. Okay, jumping in now. Just wanted to show my face at least a little bit, even though I'm still kind of sick. You could probably hear it in my voice. My face is like puffy and my sinuses are clogged, and it's just been a miserable week. But I managed to get started on my project, and my battery actually cut out yesterday, unfortunately, but I wanted to kind of just keep working anyways. And I'm sorry that I don't have that footage for you, but it wasn't pretty because this is what I ended up with. I know, it looks crazy. It kind of looks like that guy from Phantom in the Paradise. I haven't seen the movie, I've just seen pictures. That Brian De Palma movie. But yeah, as stated in my last video, where I did that weird bear man from The Shining, if you haven't seen that, check it out. I'll make sure to include the link above. This is the stage where I'm just like, what the F am I doing? If you hear that, that's my dog walking around. As always, trust the process. And basically, for anybody new to this channel, this is just a color blocking process. So I know, or I have a general idea of where the details should go. So obviously the gray is kind of like the helmet. The light, weird peachy color is his skin, and the black is the cloak. Hold on, let me get my dog. This is Peanut. She is 16. She's gonna be 17. She's gonna be 17 this month, November. And she is very needy and very anxious and has definite separation anxiety. I also wanted to mention that it is finally gloomy outside. In the last video, it was like in the mid to high 80s, I think, and the sun was shining, and it was after Halloween. And now it's in the middle of November, and it rained today, and I heard thunder, and it's just gray skies, and I really could not be happier. This is cozy weather. This is the weather to feel sick in, and nothing's worse than being sick when it's hot. So I am just so grateful for this weather change. Fall is definitely here, and there's definite Christmas feelings starting to arise. So I have more ideas in my head that are more festive and of the occasion. But let's continue on with the Mouth of Sauron. We want to get this guy finished because I'm hoping he turns out pretty cool. So I took out all the tools that I think I'll need. Yes, this one is broken. These are kind of cheap. Like, they kept kind of breaking off on the end, so I would not recommend whatever brand this was. I forget what they were called, but they were kind of sucky. I have my rolling pin because I'm going to try to make as perfect flat shapes as possible because the helmet is, I mean, it's armor. It needs to look somewhat structured and sleek, although it is very weathered. So I think I'll actually start with the armor bits first. They actually made me the most nervous. I feel like once I kind of start nailing down the hard part, that becomes that confidence booster I need to just finish him out. So I kind of want to make sure I tackle that part first. So here we go. Hi again. So if you hear that, that's the rain. Apologies for the background noise. But I did like the midsection of his helmet crown, and I'm actually kind of stoked looking at it. I definitely have to go in and refine it a bit, just so it doesn't look too chunky and more sharp, but I like it. the top part where the crown is, like all those spikes, that hasn't been done yet. And the bottom part that kind of covers the sides of his face and his chin isn't sculpted out. The reason I haven't done that part yet is because I kind of want to leave that space open so it's kind of easier to access it when I'm doing all those finer details. So I think I'll go ahead and continue on with the crown section. I'm holding on to this little bit of, what do you call this? Armature wire. So I'm holding on to his armature wire, but you can see that I had originally wanted it to be like the main point, like the middle point of his crown, but it's going a little too far back. So I'm gonna go ahead and chop this off and put in some cake wire closer to the front of his face or forehead, if that makes any sense. All right, let's get started.
A few moments later.
Okay, sorry I haven't been updating you with like audio and stuff, but I've just finished almost. I do need to clean it up a bit, like this side of his helmet, just so that midsection you can see kind of like the detailing I did and kind of the carving to make it look more battered, more like metal rather than like slabs of clay. And now I'm gonna go in, I already started with this very long spike on his crown, and you saw that I also did one of the shorter ones, and I'm just gonna fill these all in. I also want to mention I want to knead this a lot more. The modeling chocolate tends to kind of have this dried out texture if I don't keep kneading it and applying warmth to it. And it's not good if I'm trying to do kind of like straight lines. So I always want to make sure to kind of knead it as much as I can without overdoing it so that it comes out with a smoother look and not any of like the cracking that usually happens when the material is dried out. Okay, it is now the next day, and I just want to mention that I am not sick anymore, but I am back to feeling all better, thank goodness, and I'm feeling really motivated today. I feel like we're going to be able to finish his mouth and his helmet. Who knows if we'll be able to get on his like cloaky shroud thingy. But yeah, I am pumped to get this guy done. Let's get started. I realized that I didn't make enough of like skin tone for him. Like if you look at him now, this funny looking chin bit, I just slapped that on to kind of like give me a guide of where his mouth is actually going to be. But I didn't make enough of this color, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that first. I have some scraps as usual. Always like to reuse as much as I can, or at least like not dump anything and be wasteful. I have this kind of like, I don't know what you would call this. Pink, mauve, somewhat purple-ish. I'm really bad with color names. And I could mix that with white and also use some of this kind of like mustard color. I feel like pink and mustard and white usually comes out with a good tone. And his mouth is pretty like purplish. So I think we're gonna have enough to kind of flesh him out. And this is the shade I came up with. It's not showing too purpley on camera, but it really does have kind of like, I just almost poked myself in the eye. It really does have kind of like a lavender tint to it. So I'm happy with this. Let's get started. Okay, the mouth, like the, I don't know what you call that, the orifice. It's all hollowed out, and I tried to give him a bit more of like, so it looks like actual lips. So this part is done, and I'm going to add his gums and his teeth, and I'm actually kind of needing some white and yellow modeling chocolate so we can get some nasty yellow teeth. Zoom in a bit so you get a better look. So I'm pretty stoked looking at it. I think he looks pretty great. This was after like making the helmet or the crown part. The mouth was the most nerve-wracking part to just think about, but I always love carving teeth and carving gums and lips. I don't know what it is. It's just like probably the reason why I was so into wanting to do the Mouth of Sauron as opposed to maybe something more obvious and not like from a deleted or extended scene. But now I'm excited, and now I'm just gonna go ahead and kind of finish the helmet that wraps around his face and also do the shroud. And if I have time, do the runes. It's already been like 2 hours. Took a little longer than I thought, but I was having fun, and that's what matters the most, I think. But yeah, now it's like the home stretch, even though I'm technically probably only halfway done. Mentally, it feels that way. Okay, right, just quickly switched angles because I need to work on rolling out more modeling chocolate. I have my little mat here. I'm gonna approach it the same way as I did his crown section. I'll be rolling out strips of gray modeling chocolate and then applying them. The seams might not be too perfect, but that's okay. He's an evil, gruesome, ugly villain. I think it'll kind of add to the look. Helmet is now done. I think it looks great. And now I have to make the black like shroud that goes all around him. Cover up these super ugly bits. And the last sculpting bit I have to do is the little runes like around his helmet. Thankfully I found a good reference picture because it's really hard to make out, especially from like screenshots. And I wrote them down in my sketch already. So I have like a little cheat sheet. Must be some sort of black speech, but yeah. And now to paint. Oh my god, so greasy. I'm using a ring light. I'm sure you can tell how the lighting is a lot better on the sculpt, not on my face. But yeah, painting. I kind of decided to not include a lot of the painting bits just so I have a more, surprising reveal. And I just go in and pretty much color in where I think the shading should go. I'm not the best painter, but it definitely helps make the sculpture pop. Okay, it is reveal day, but I just wanted to jump in real quick. Sorry if you can hear kids playing basketball in the background. It's just my neighbors, but I just wanted to mention whenever I have to film these videos, I always turn on like the movie or TV show in the background. You could hear Galadriel talk. But yeah, I like to turn on like the movie that the project is based on because it just makes it that much more exciting. But anyways, let me show you how he turned out. And that was my Mouth of Sauron dessert sculpture, and I think he came out so good. Like, oh, I was so nervous getting into it. Like, I'll always come up with cake ideas and be like, yeah, I could totally do that. And then once I start sketching, and then once I start realizing I have to actually construct this thing, that's when the nerves really hit. I'm like, am I capable of doing any of this? Like, sometimes your brain is like your worst enemy, but this was really cool, and I was definitely nervous that he was mostly armor because I've always been kind of worried about doing anything that was too structured, but I do have to practice it more for some upcoming projects. Looking at him makes me smile, and I'll probably hang on to him longer than I need to just store his head in my freezer. But anyways, I have a lot of projects coming up, but we are definitely gonna do some like Christmas or holiday themed cakes and dessert sculptures, probably mostly just cakes. So I hope you guys stick around. Please make sure to like and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. All right, I'll see you next time. Bye.